This is the Building Walls podcast, episode number 65, recorded January 4th, 2022. Kim Potter and the case of the missing taser.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
This is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this is not. Val, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Mr. President, can I ask you a quick question on Israel before you drive away?
No,
since
you
it's
can't.
So important?
Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it. Okay, hang on.
A majority of Americans, and forgive me, I'm just the messenger, no longer consider you to be competent, focused, or effective in the job.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Let's go. The Building Walls podcast. Keeping it tight and getting it right. You excited, Mr. Dayton?
Commander Whalls, it's always a pleasure, my man. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. And Happy New Year, buddy boy.
That's right. Happy New Year. Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.
I'm sure that's what Joe Biden was saying around the White House.
Yeah, he said, Merry 4th of July. What day is it?
Oh, man. So, this isn't in the notes, but I forgot to add it. Do you have that clip queued up there, Mr. Producer, of Governor DeSantis? This is great.
Yeah, I got it.
DeSantis is the man.
He's the man.
DeSantis is the man.
This is the left's hypocrisy at its finest. This is a news conference he was in, talking about how all the governors in these lockdown states, somehow they all end up in Florida, but Florida's so bad.
Amazing.
It's awesome.
AOC was seen partying maskless. You're here in Florida. She's been critical of your policy, but yet she comes to Florida and enjoys, the free state. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, look, I think if I had $1 for every lockdown politician who decided to escape to Florida over the last 2 years, I'd be a pretty doggone wealthy man, let me tell you. I mean, Congress people, mayors, governors, I mean, you name it. And it's interesting, though, the reception that, that some of these folks will get in Florida, because I think a lot of Floridians say, wait a minute, you're bashing us because we're not doing your draconian policies, and yet we're the first place you want to flee to basically to be able to enjoy life. And so I'm not surprised to see that continue to happen. I could tell you, I mean, there are probably about a half dozen governors who had restrictions on their people and then were spotted at various points in Florida. Some of it's been public, some of it's not been public, but people tell me these things, and so these things are spotted, and so that's just the reality that we're dealing with. I think I'm happy, though, that Florida is a place where people know.
It's so great. I feel like every time I watch him, the more and more he looks like Trump. I think he's taking classes to act like Trump, his mannerisms and everything.
And I'd like to order a Dr. Pepper. We like Dr. Pepper.
Dude,
we don't like Dr. Fauci.
We need to show that
TikTok
clip too. That was great.
We like Dr. Pepper more
we'll
than
play
Dr.
that.
Fauci.
We'll play that shortly here. But I mean,
the Arbys, the dude that who literally goes through the Arbys drive-through. Yeah. We love ourselves some Arbys on this show.
So what do you think about this, Chris? Like, isn't it? I feel like this is the epitome of hypocrisy that we talk about, where, I mean, are people starting to wake up to this, do you think?
I mean, they have to be. I got to believe that they're starting to wake up to it. There's still people who are just like, there's always going to be people who are in the side, the camp of that. It's just insane. It's just, that's from the beginning of time. There's always going to be the person who takes the opposite side or just is grown up to think that way. And God bless those people. I mean, honestly, God bless those people. But It's not how it's done. You know, the DeSantises of the world, they got it figured out, man. And that's a good leader, and we should follow that person.
Yeah, I was thinking about this as you were talking. I was listening to some talk radio earlier, and the host asked, like, vaccine passports, should we be required to show voter ID if we're required to show ID for the vaccine passports and stuff? And he's like, hey, if you're out there and you're on the left, a liberal, call me. I want to hear it. I'm making a New Year's resolution to listen more and not interrupt. Go ahead and call me. So this guy calls and he's talking about it. And he says, I think that voter registration laws, they're in the Constitution. The vaccine passports are not. And he goes, oh, so you agree with me? You think that, we should require ID for this? The guy's like, no, it should be easier to vote. He's like, what? What did you just say? You literally just said one's in the Constitution and one is not. And that was the guy's basis for why we shouldn't be required to show ID to vote. Is that how? So this is not a Rachel Maddow, right? This is not a Don Lemon. This is not a Juicy Smollett.
Can't even. Juicy Smollett.
I was blown away when he said what he said. And then he's like, no, I'm not agreeing with you. What do you mean? What the statement you said to argue for it is in agreement with why we should be required to show ID. And he says, so
my head hurts.
Yeah. He says, let me tell you what if I give them your name and I vote with your name. And then you go to show up and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. You've already voted. He's like, well, then we'll open an investigation. He's like, what? I mean,
come on, man. Come on, man.
Dude, I was blown away. I'm like, I got to stop listening. Like, I don't need to listen to this anymore. This is stupid. Pure stupidity.
Pure stupidity at the highest level.
But Chris, do you think people think that way on, like, when we're out there in the world communicating with people? Or is that like a one-off situation? It's crazy.
Chad, it reminds me of the beginning of Wedding Crashers. When Owen Wilson's character is like he's sleeping with all his chicks, and she's like, are you only halfway full of shit or just full of shit? And he's like, I'd like to think halfway.
But who knows?
Who knows? And that's literally how I feel right now. It's like, I would like to hope that we're able to think, but dude, with the craziness that's going on. I mean, constantly these people, like, dude, the insanity that is happening all around us on a daily basis is second level. It's third level. It's fourth level. It's crazy. These people that are living in fear, that are constantly crazy. Dude, Chad, here's my biggest thing.
Oh, let's hear it.
I know. I'm like literally like, should I say this? Should I not say this? I'm going to say this.
I don't know.
But like literally, I cannot handle these people who think that they're all Marvel superheroes. Like, you're not. You don't need to police the rest of us. If I don't want to wear a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. If I didn't want to get vaccinated, I'm not getting vaccinated. You do you. Go take care of you. You're not a superhero. Stop trying to police me. Okay? We have government. We have other people in place to handle those things. Stop it.
Man,
right?
So there was a few other good things I heard the other day that stuck out to me. One is, I guess, the state of Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont.
That's your boy. That's your boy.
That's my boy. The state of Connecticut ordered like over 1.5 million at-home COVID tests. Like, I'm glad that my taxpayer dollars are spent for at-home COVID tests. It's not just that. The other thing that I was listening to that makes sense is you're going to have me, and you want me to take an at-home COVID test for an Omicron variant that if you get sick from it, if you test positive, what is the medical treatment for it? There is none because it's not severe. So
it's NyQuil, bro.
So
You
why are
have
we
a
paying?
cough.
Right.
You have like some scratchy throat. You have
Exactly.
Some, what is it? NyQuil, like nighttime sneezy, coughing, so you can rest medicine. Like take that.
Yeah. But there's zero medical treatment for it. So why are we so worried about getting tested for it if you're not going to prescribe me anything?
Why are we fascinated with quote unquote COVID when, best I can tell, nobody's dying from it, man? Omicron. How many people have died from Omicron?
I mean, the Biden administration came out and said
who died?
Yeah, exactly. They said that we shouldn't be worried about the case anymore. We should just be focusing on deaths. The case rate doesn't matter anymore, the way that's spreading. So why are we mandating things?
I have a question.
I don't get it.
I have a question. I have a question, and I want to know from the beginning of time, how many times have humans been sick? What? Humans been sick? There's sick people? Oh my God. You're kidding me. Somebody got sick. Somebody puked. Somebody coughed. What happened? I don't understand, man. I just don't get it. I don't understand why we're freaking out about every last thing when it's like, dude, that's been happening since the beginning of time. When did our generation decide that we're like such freaking I said it. We're why? I mean, I'm seriously like, I don't know if that's like an account for, I guess, this on YouTube or not. But like,
I guess no F-bombs.
When did we get so weak? When are we so weak that we can't even handle people getting sick? People get sick. People have been sick all the time. There's millions and millions of people, and people get sick. I don't get it. I don't get it, Chad.
It's wild.
I don't get it.
It's wild. I'm with you. Well said. Well said. Besides the one part, I'm gonna have to bleep that out.
No,
but it was well said.
Attack helicopter. Hey, attack helicopter. Welcome to the show. Nebraska's in the house. Was that bad? Tell me.
Right now.
It's
okay.
I don't know if they can hear it.
Well,
you're a fucking pussy.
Well, now you can hear it.
Oh my gosh.
If you're gonna make it no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. But yes, we do have to censor that.
Let's get to anything that we were actually going to talk about here.
I know we have been like off script. Like I'm looking at the top of the show, being like, "Oh God,
Potter trial, cops,
Potter trial." That's not where we started.
I know you said policing. I mean, so let's talk about policing. Before we get into this, just what's your take on the Kim Potter trial? She was found guilty of manslaughter charges, right? So she was supposed to pull her taser. She pulled a gun, and she killed Dante Wright.
I mean, okay, so you want my take first? I gotta go first on this. Really? I mean, okay, here's the deal. I don't understand how you're a cop and you don't know the difference between your gun and a taser. And if you don't know the difference, then you probably shouldn't be a cop. But that's just me personally. I mean, I have a gun. I have a license to be able to carry that weapon.
License to kill.
And not to kill. Not to kill. Quote unquote.
I mean, you are a white male, so that's what white males do. Allegedly.
I pull my privilege card. But at the end of the day, I definitely know the difference between what it feels like to have a pistol, a revolver, and that's the thing. It's not like she had a shotgun or an AK-47 or she didn't have any weaponry. She had a pistol, a police issued revolver. And, the difference between that and a taser is pretty substantial, I would have to say. And so I'm going to have to call bullshit. Like either she's an idiot and she doesn't need to be a cop, or she killed him on purpose. And both are bad. Both are bad. Both are terrible. Is the guy, was Dante Wright, a good guy? No. But it's kind of independent of the fact, like, does he deserve to die? Because he was like, fighting or resisting. I don't know, man. Like, I could make the argument that I think we're in a day and age where you might need to. What if the cops showed up right now and we're on your doorstep and we're like hammering you because you didn't do a vaccine or you didn't do something or you want?
They do in Canada.
They do in Canada. They do in Australia.
Yeah.
We're not far away from that. But I mean, that's my personal take. I think, if you're a police officer, you're supposed to be a professional. As a professional, by definition, you should know the difference between your weaponry. That's being professional. If you don't know the difference between the weapons that you have available to you, then you're not a professional. You're a rookie. You're an ignorant fool, and you shouldn't have that. So that's my personal take.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with any of that. I'm really stuck in the middle of which way would I go, because I look at it from one side where Dante Wright was attacking her.
Well, he was definitely resisting arrest. You watch the video, and he's in the car. They're trying to get him out. They're trying to they're trying to handle the situation. And is he making the best choices? No, he's not. He's clearly not making. He's not honoring their words and choosing to follow them.
Right. So should Dante Wright have died? No. Did he put himself in a position to help avoid that? No. But at the same point, you're right. If you're going to be a cop and you're going to go through this, you have a duty for that. As unfortunate as it is, I think this almost got blown out of proportion, because anytime that a white person kills a white cop, that is, kills a black person, it's blown up in the media like it happens all the time. When's the last time you heard about this? It was George Floyd. When was that?
Oh, man.
Over a year ago. So this stuff might happen once a year. Guess what? News flash. It happened before, too. It happened before social media. It happened before the news blew it up and put it in everyone's face.
Correct.
But here is my question to you, Chris. Think about this. If you make a mistake on your job, are you going to jail because of it? Most likely not. So think about, in this day and age, having the only or one of the only jobs out there where you can make a mistake like this. I'm going to say it's a simple mistake. It's not a simple mistake, but you drew from one hand versus the other. And the fact that you made a mistake, allegedly, isn't just you getting fired. It's you going to prison. And it's you being put in a position to take someone else's life.
Well, makes the argument that if that's the level of opportunity, the disparity between hey, I'm going to go home at the end of the day and I'm going to be living with my family and just doing what I want, versus I could potentially go to jail today. Don't you think you should get paid more?
There is that too. But in liberal cities, what's the first thing they cut?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, defund the police. That's a smart idea.
Yeah, I mean, dude, how many stories have we seen recently about guys who are in prison and get let out and then go kill or rape or slaughter?
Yeah. Well, because criminals are going to be criminals. That's the thing, Chad. Criminals are going to be criminals. That doesn't matter. You got to have the people who are in place to stop those criminals. And if you defund the police, then all you're going to end up is with a police force that's a bunch of Kim Potters. You know what I mean? And maybe you live, maybe you die. I don't know.
Oh, man.
So I know, seriously, that was terrible, but whatever.
I have a question for you with all of this, with all this stuff that goes on in this day and age. I mean, would you want to be a cop in today's day?
Not for the pay rate that they get.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the entry level to be a police officer, the risk reward, it's not worth it, dude. To me personally, I feel like, I mean, hell, Chad, they're paying $15 an hour to be a Wendy's employee or a McDonald's employee. How much more is it to be a police officer? Yeah, you're salaried. Okay, great. But at the end of the day, the risk, you might lose your life. You might take somebody's life. You might have to deal with that trauma for the rest of your life. You might have to face, the liberal cancel culture people. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. It doesn't seem like the money's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a fix that needs to go on there. It's almost like you're in one of those positions where it's like living in a blue state, the state of Connecticut. Taxes are high, cost of living is high. It's like, should I stay in a state like Connecticut? Should you stay in a state like Michigan?
No, I'm out. I'm leaving as soon as I possibly can.
And should you try to, help be that to fix it from the inside? Or should you just go to move to a state where people align with your values? Because in my experience, I mean, people are just like the guy I was talking about who I heard on the radio earlier. Do you want to stay around and try to fix that from the inside? You can't fix stupid.
Dude, you cannot fix stupid. It's such a cliche thing to say, and yet please sit down, resonate, let it sink in. You cannot fix stupid.
Right. I mean, I'm stupid at times. You can't fix me. Wait, what are we gonna do about it?
Be fixed.
But it's so tough because you run through all these things.
That was a
you are wilding out tonight. You run through all these things. There's all these scenarios. It's like I don't want to give up on it, right? In certain spots, but at the same point, you're not going to beat the media. You're not going to beat these states that vote blue every election. No, you're not going to vote or beat these city councils that go blue every election. And the best part about it is when they always say we're not going to raise your taxes. And we've talked about this before. Yeah, the Biden administration isn't going to raise the taxes, but he's going to cause inflation, which makes you pay more taxes because it's percentage based. He's going to cause minimum wage to go up, which means you get paid more, which means you pay more taxes because it's all a percentage. So your taxes are going up. Don't buy the lie. Is there a book called Don't Buy the Lie? If not, we should write it.
We should. So I did want to share with you. I literally on the way home, I stopped at Little Caesars Pizza.
Dude, I haven't had Little Caesars in so long.
I know because you moved to Connecticut.
So good.
I went to Little Caesars, and you know what you get at Little Caesars? What do you get at Little Caesars, Chad?
Hot and ready, baby.
Hot and ready. And how much does a hot and ready cost?
What is it? $5.30 last I knew.
Yeah, that's because in Michigan there's 6% sales tax, so $5. Right.
I'm pretty good with the math.
6% is 30 cents. $5.30. Well, my man, I hate to break this to you, but Biden has struck again. So I just stopped at the old Little Caesars by my house, and I brought home a hot and ready, and it was $5.55 plus tax, which ended up being a little bit more than it was $6.
A little over a 10% increase.
Yep.
10%.
10% increase.
So I want to throw this thing. I don't know when it happened, but at one point too, the hot and ready was a large pizza. Now it's more of a medium pizza because it was 10 slices. Now it's 8 slices. That happened somewhere around Barack Obama era. Just saying.
So I picked up my hot and ready, and I noticed tonight they said it's whatever it was, I looked up and I saw on the screen is $5.55 plus tax, and I was like, oh, you raised your prices. And the girl goes, yeah, I mean, I know we want to get paid more money, right? And I was like, yeah, Biden strikes again. She's like, yeah, because we all want to get paid more money. And I was like, okay, $5 hot and ready. Guess so. Grabbed it and walked out the door.
See, they don't teach this.
And I was just like, oh my God, you stupid employees. You think that you should be paid more because you made a pizza? You should get paid more because you made a pizza.
A pizza.
We're not talking about heart surgery here.
Not talking about practice.
We're not talking about practice. We're not talking about the game.
Talking about pizza.
We're talking about pizza. Pizza, my man. Pizza. So ridiculous.
I'm telling you, it blows my mind that people who work at McDonald's in the state of Connecticut, anyone who works at McDonald's makes at least $13 an hour. That's literally why the dollar menu is so small in the state of Connecticut. You make $13 an hour to take a bun.
The dollar menu is French fries. The end.
Put a patty on it. Squirt some ketchup, some onions and mustard, maybe a few pickles, whatever this burger is.
Squirt it.
And you get paid $13 an hour for that.
Yep. Lick it up.
That way it's a living wage. Guess what? The living wage, if the minimum wage goes up, so does the living wage.
Dude, these people are so stupid they don't even understand that.
Don't buy the lie.
Don't buy the lie.
New book coming out January 2023.
I want to know, Chad, who is this week's rant sponsored by?
This week's rant is sponsored by Guinness.
Guinness
draft beer.
It's a fine Irish beer.
It's good. I love Guinness. The first time I had it, I thought it tasted like wood. And now I love it, man. Can't go wrong with some good Guinness. Nitro brew, smooth, creamy. It's good stuff. Drink these all night. But let's get into the rant.
I'm gonna cue you up. Seriously. Right. So welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the show. This is my favorite part of the section, the podcast episode section, which is weekly. Although we daily talk about different things and we rant, but this is the weekly rant brought to you by Chad Whalls.
The daily rant turned weekly.
Guinness.
Hey,
take it away, my man.
The first thing, I feel like we need to get better at this. I need to get better at this. I'll take personal responsibility. Just let everyone know, if you do listen to this, like it, share it, tell your friends about it, put it on your Facebook page, give us feedback, go and like our Building Walls Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every little bit helps. And I think just at the lowest level, doing things like that can help get better voices out there, right? People who can at least have a conversation. Dayton over there showing us the belly.
Dude, I'm not. You're on the screen, man. I'm not on the screen right now.
That's true. That's why it's even better that I can just point it out and no one can even see what's going on with it.
Only for us, an attack helicopter.
Only fans can see it.
Only fans.
Check
out our TikTok page. Check out our TikTok page. Building Walls, TikTok.
I thought about what to rant about, and I feel like I'm going to take this in a little bit of a different direction, because what I saw is that Joe Rogan tested positive for COVID. And then a few days later, turns out he tested negative. And there were people tweeting about, oh man, I wish he would have died. Oh, that sucks. Sucks for the rest of the world. Whatever they said, but it was all about him wishing that he died from COVID. Well, one, you're so stupid. He's probably not going to die from COVID anyway. So that makes you look dumb.
99.97% chance of living.
Yeah. So, what I just want to say, if you're listening to this show and you're out there, I encourage you, like we talked about a few weeks ago, give love to one another, give praise, help out a neighbor, and just know that you are worth it. Whatever you're doing, forget about all the rigmarole that you hear and all the crap that's on the media. Forget about all that stuff. Focus on you. Focus on taking responsibility. Focus on, whatever that next step you want to take in your life, and whether it's with family, career, kids, whoever, just know that you are worth it, that you are worthy, that, there's so much more that goes on in this world that the media is never going to talk about because it doesn't get ratings. Fear sells. Don't let the fear sell. Don't let the fear sell to you, right? These things like Omicron, COVID in the first place wasn't as nasty as they claimed it to be. The numbers are so low, it's not even a pandemic anymore. So why are we still calling it a pandemic? Forget about all that crap and just know that you're worth it no matter what you do. Everyone has unique strengths and weaknesses too, but focus on your strengths. Focus today and next week, the next six months, the next year, whatever timeline you have for yourself, and set a goal for something you want to do, something you've been thinking about doing, whether it's working out more, whether it's eating better, losing 20 pounds. Don't worry about the 1,500 different diets out there that one says you can eat whatever you want, one says you can't eat whatever you want. Just eat better, eat less, lose weight, set a goal for yourself, and forget about what everyone else thinks. Because I've really been thinking about this the last week. When you read books, you listen to other people talk about things, everyone gives you their topic from their own perspective, from their world view. And sometimes it can be tough because you're like, well, I want to have money like so-and-so, or I want to be rich like them, or I want to live a life like them. Forget about that. Focus on your strengths. Focus on what you're good at and excel at that. And then see those strengths in other people. Because I know it's so easy with all of the negativity that we see to focus on everyone's weaknesses, especially because usually someone else's weakness is your strength. So it's really easy to point that out because then it just inwardly makes us feel much more superior. But focus on everyone else's strengths. A rising tide raises all ships, they say. And this is inspired by you, Mr. Chris. You're the one that started this a few weeks ago. You were talking about it, and I've been thinking about it a lot. I appreciate you. Financial Jesus over there. You're the man. I appreciate you both. The strengths that we all bring to the show and to just things in life. And I'm excited for just friendship the next few years here. And let's get back into some other good stuff about what we talk about on the show. Seeing your dance moves over there.
Dude, I love you, man. I love you. That was a good rant.
I appreciate you. There's nothing. No big deal.
Dude, you always rant. It's always amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited for our second major segment of the show, Chris's Corner. But before we get into that, hey, there's some other stuff.
Where was our wholesome story? Did we have a wholesome story this year? Because you usually do that.
I don't think we had one. I have an interesting story for you though that could kind of throw into that. This is kind of funny. So, all right, you guys know the "Let's Go Brandon" chant, right? And the race car driver.
Yeah.
You know that story, right?
Favorite.
You know that story, right? Okay.
Yeah.
This guy, let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm scrolling through it here.
Are you talking about the guy who was his name Brandon, whoever?
Yeah. So here's the thing. The driver who it was originally all about or whatever.
Yeah.
He is now. So he was having a hard time getting sponsorships after this whole thing blew up because we were like, oh, we don't want to associate with negativity towards politics, whatever. He got a new sponsorship for his NASCAR. You know, I know what the sponsorship is.
Wasn't it like Getter or something like that?
No. LGBcoin.io. LGBcoin.io.
Oh,
literally a crypto named. He got a crypto coin to sponsor him called Let's Go Brandon Coin.
No way.
I'm not even kidding you.
We need to buy it now.
Yep.
NASCAR still has it under review from what I see.
It is. It got put under review after it got approved.
Then you're right.
Yep, they did pull it back. So it's not worth much. It's dropped in value. It's tanked, but yeah, it's a thing. LGBcoin.io.
Fantastic. Good for him.
Good for him. Coin.
So speaking of that,
let's go, Brandon.
Perfect. Into the next point. According to townhall.com, and a writer for The Atlantic, senior editor, this was their analysis of the dad who goes on to Joe Biden for, what was it, for like the Santa tracker and said, let's go Brandon. So this editor from The Atlantic his tweet that he sent out says, the analyst says it's ungracious, it's juvenile, it's reprehensible, and it's about insurrection. What? Dude, these people are so far lost.
January 6th.
Why are we still talking about the insurrection? What does saying "let's go, Brandon," which came months later, have to do with the insurrection?
I'll tell you what has to do with the insurrection is
Let me
people
hear
have had enough, and they're just done with this crap. And quite frankly, anybody who sits there, I swear to God, if you're listening to this show, call in. I want to talk to you. For real. I want to have a conversation with you if you really think that there was an insurrection. Like, my God. There was no transfer of power. There was no attack on the Capitol. If you are confused about what an attack is, then I will help you out because we'll open up a history book. We'll open up a history book. We can look at Vietnam. We can look at Korea. We can look at Germany, World War II. We can look at Germany, World War I. We can go back through the history and find out what an attack is. But I can promise you what is not an attack is what happened last year on January 6th. That is not an attack. That is people who are pissed off, who wanted to go to the Capitol, get some photos taken, do some stupid stuff. But that's not an attack. It's not an attempt to overthrow the government. If you think that, you're an idiot. You heard me. You're an idiot.
Dude, it's
Straight
funny
up,
you say that.
You are a idiot.
That talk show I was listening to earlier. So the guy in the morning, his name's Mike Gallagher. On top of not interrupting, he's like, the other thing that, my producer said I should do is stop calling people names on the show. I should get better at that.
I'm trying.
And my first thought was, yeah, but I think I'm still gonna do it on the podcast.
Probably.
It's kind of fun.
Dude, Chad, for real though, insurrection, when you hear somebody talking, like if I turn in like CNN or MSNBC or anybody, or if I hear any of my liberal friends and they're like, well, the insurrection of last year, the attempted overthrow of the government, I'm like, I can't take you seriously. Like, are you really that dumb?
Yeah,
Do you
attempted
really
overthrow.
think that was what was happening? Because if you really feel that was what was happening, then you are playing in a play box or just a sandbox that is seriously, like, what planet are you on that you feel that was a real attack? If you feel like that was real, then what are you going to do when China rolls up or Russia rolls up or any of these other countries come up and really actually attack? How are you on this planet if you don't understand what an actual attack is? Come on, man.
Yeah, so an insurrection, right, is a violent, according to the internets, a violent uprising against an authority or a government. Or I like this other definition, is a full-on rebellion. At what point was there a rebellion, an uprising? At what point was this mutiny or a revolution against the government? I'm using all synonyms if there's any stupid people listening.
I mean, for real.
And,
what? I mean, for real.
Yeah. So,
preach, brother Chad, preach.
Let's get to another definition. I saw this earlier, and I got to talk about it, especially because I didn't want to believe it, Chris. I did not want to believe it. But I'm on Merriam-Webster.com looking at the definition of an anti-vaxxer. So an anti-vaxxer is a person who opposes the use of vaccines. Yeah, that makes sense. Or regulations mandating vaccination. What?
Come on, bro.
So because I don't like forced vaccinations, I'm an anti-vaxxer? I've gotten plenty of vaccinations in my lifetime. I got a vaccination when my wife was pregnant. I think it was the Tdap, I believe they asked you to get, and a tetanus shot if you haven't had one in a while. I got those vaccinations. But hold on, I'm an anti-vaxxer according to Merriam-Webster's definition. This is, I mean, Merriam-Webster's probably the most well-known dictionary, right?
They're the authority on, you know, the topic.
Right. So the comment in this, you know, that they give you like, hey, could you please use that in a sentence? He said while he will not get the COVID-19 vaccine, he is not an anti-vaxxer against all vaccinations. Okay. But I'm still, at what point, if you're anti something and then you choose to get that thing, right? Anti-vax, even though you've gotten vaccines, does that now have to do with forced regulation on anyone? This is the world that we are living in. If
it's a
we
clown
don't
show, dude.
share our voices, if we don't help voices get out there and be heard, that's why I think it's so pertinent that, you know, people who listen to our show share us, like us, subscribe to our YouTube page, building walls. Simple as that.
We need to build a wall on the southern border.
Yeah, I heard Biden is building the wall now.
Apparently now the Trump administration had something right, which was stay in Mexico. You stay there. You stay right there until we process you.
Yeah. You know, it's just this administration is so whack. So, did you see what the White House said the other day? Biden tells governors now, in December of 21, a year later, after preaching it, that they would have a federal solution. He now says, "Oh, there is no federal solution on COVID. It should be left up to the states." So why are we mandating things? I thought you were going to get it under control, Mr. President.
Well,
what the hell is going on?
I got to win an election, so the first thing that I'm going to do will get this virus under control.
Yeah.
Okay, I won. Hey, by the way, just FYI, nothing I can do, bro.
Yeah, I know we talked about that.
But you check out my new dog, Commander. Gonna run around the yard. Oh man, that dog's sick, man. Hey, don't worry about the fact that you're getting sick yourself. You know, like don't worry about that. I mean, we're talking about being sick. Ain't no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. People wonder why conservatives out there, a good handful of them, were so loyal to President Trump, because President Trump said he was going to build a wall. He said he was going to give tax cuts, amongst other things. He said he was going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. I mean, those are three things that he said he was going to do and got done. So if you said you were going to get COVID under control, which was literally, allegedly a national emergency at the time, and that's the one thing that you didn't do, and now you're saying you can't do, that's why people were loyal to Trump. Am I wrong?
Right. No. I mean, the policy makes sense. People just don't care, dude. They just don't care. I mean, I was just out the other day and I saw somebody who was wearing 3 masks. You know, they were like, you know, and had the face shield, the whole 9 yards, the whole kit and caboodle. And I was like, you know, you're getting COVID. Like, why even bother? But
especially when the studies say that Omicron is even smaller. It's more of an upper respiratory, and even an N95 mask will not prevent you getting Omicron.
Well, the CDC, I mean, I know how much we've had conflicting information from the CDC, but at the end of the day, the CDC literally said, we've now, 2 years into this, we actually know now that COVID is an airborne transmitted virus.
Like the flu.
Not.
Imagine that.
Well, no, it's not actually like the flu. The flu is actually for droplets.
Correct.
And COVID is not. COVID is airborne. And so a cloth mask is literally going to protect you from droplets, but it is not going to protect you from the airborne conveyance of COVID-19. It's
But
just not.
Doctors were saying that 2 years ago.
I know, dude, bro. They know,
Bro.
And it became. I know, seriously. I cannot even believe it. Seriously,
It's funny you said that. I don't know if you were looking at the next tweet. I'm sure you were because you're a legend.
Where? Hold on. Where are we at?
Dr. Eli David tweeted out about this is our defense secretary of defense, Lloyd Austin. You figure this guy would be a badass like Mad Dog Mattis. Instead, this dude's walking around. He's got all the knowledge in the world at his fingertips.
For the love of all that's holy, I did not look at this, and I just looked at this picture. Swear to God, look on your screen right now. Look at this picture. There are people who are wearing a mask, and they're wearing the clear shield ahead.
Being forced to.
What in God's name are you doing right now? You look stupid.
So this guy, for all intents and purposes, is the leader of our military.
Oh my God. I can't even handle this picture
He's
right
got
now.
all the knowledge at his fingertips. Knowing that what he's wearing is not only not protecting him, but it's stupid.
Oh, dude, this is
and he's
insane.
doing it anyway.
The insane level is too
You know
much
what?
for me.
You know what gets me fired up, Chris? I know I said the rant. I wasn't gonna do it, but what gets me fired up is they do this stuff, right? They wear these masks, and then they say things like, it's just to protect everyone, right? It's just to protect people. But again, it's not. If you're wearing a mask, you are protecting yourself. You're there to protect yourself. And you have all this knowledge at your fingertips for something that isn't even protecting you. And you say that it's not politicized. So what is this? If this is not politicized, what are you doing? Because the science says you're an idiot. The science says you're a moron. So there's only one rational explanation to this, which says it is politicized. So stop saying it's not. But here's the thing. There's enough stupid people who vote for the left that they hear things like that and they believe it. Just like they believe that voter ID should be no more. It should be as easy as going to get a McChicken as it should be to vote. You shouldn't have to show any ID, period. People used to ask you for an ID to pay with your own credit card. But you don't want to make it a requirement to have ID to vote, but you're going to make it required for me to wear a mask. That doesn't work. How stupid can you be? You are ignorant. You are an idiot.
Oh my God.
You are dumb.
Amen.
That's my rant for the week.
I like it. That was rant 1.2.
Blows my mind.
Dude, it does. It's insane. It's insane. So let's just move on. I
think you sent this to me the other day, didn't you? And
was it
talking
the Delta
about
one?
Yeah.
The chick who went crazy?
Yeah, Baywatch and ex-Playboy model.
Freaking Raiders fans.
Yeah, she's a Raiders cheerleader. She was in this dude's face. He's wearing a chin diaper as his mask, yelling at him about how he should have a mask on. If you're vaccinated, you're protected, allegedly.
It goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Like, honest to God, you're not a superhero. Shut up and sit down. Let other people handle it. It's not your job to police everybody. That's the problem I have with everybody. Everybody thinks that they're like going to tell everybody else how it's going to be. Like, we got a world full of Karens right now, and I can't handle it. Like, sit down, shut up, go do your thing. You see somebody without a mask on, ignore them. They're not your problem. Okay? You don't like them? Fine. They got body odor, whatever. Who cares? Go away. Let somebody else deal with it. And this person is like on a plane. You're on a plane and you're yelling at another passenger. Shut up. You don't work for Delta. Go sit down in 14B and shut your mouth. Put your mask on and be quiet. Get to the end point. The end.
I love it that on the flight's like, sit down, Karen.
Oh yeah, he called her out. He's like, "Okay, Karen." Because he's old. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a crap. He's like, you know what? Get out of here. And he's
Dude.
with his wife. He's just trying to travel. Shut up. Like, that's the point. Like, she's like, put your mask on. He's like, get the hell out of here. Who are you? Who are you to tell me what to do? And I would do the same dang thing.
That is the best point ever. You are not a superhero. If you want to be a superhero, go be a superhero to your kids. How about that? Don't be a Playboy model. Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're a hero.
Right? Be a superhero to your community. Give to the needy. Give to the poor. Donate to your time.
Politician who climbs the ladder by blowing other dudes and end up vice president. I mean, Kamala, what's up?
What's up? All right, so let's get into it. Chris's Corner. I had these questions prepared. Some are a bit of a
right now.
A repeat.
We can't do these in like
you can share whatever you
end
want.
Of the show. We need to do it at the beginning of the show because now I'm all jacked up. I'm ready to go.
That's why we do it now. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew, Grandpa Chip.
I'll come at you however I want, like a spider monkey.
So I'm taking this a little different. I'm just asking you questions that I want to hear you roar about.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Fire them off.
What do you think about the White House using a fake Oval Office for Biden? Like
I think it's bullshit.
They put together this fake. Yeah, they put together this elaborate thing. Dude, there's so many rooms in the White House you can use. Why are you building a fake one?
Why? What's wrong with the real one? I don't understand. Like, why are you building a fake? Why are you building a second studio? What is it exactly that you're trying to cover up or do? It doesn't even make sense. It's dumb. Just get your ass in the White House, bring the cameras in, and let them do what they're going to do.
I'm going to ask you a follow-up question to this. Do you think that it's something because dementia patients like familiarity? I'm just throwing that out there.
I seriously, dude.
I'm being honest.
You think the president of the United States has dementia?
Everything says if you were what's the word? Independently diagnosing him based off things he said and done in front of a crowd, you would say, there's a pretty good chance. So I'm honestly asking you, do you think they do it so that he's more comfortable in that spot because he can go to the same spot every time? And it's a familiarity thing.
I do. I feel that way. Yes.
Wow. I like it. So with that said, my second question to you is, will we ever be over from COVID? Like, will we ever be over COVID?
Yep. 6 weeks from now, mid-February, February 15th, Valentine's Day. Everybody will be out celebrating. There will be hardly 0 cases across the country because everyone will have had it and there will be no more COVID. That's my prediction. We're on the air. I'm going to be able to reference back to this. And if I'm wrong, oh well.
Meteorologists are wrong all the time.
But if I'm right,
heard it here first. All right, so my next question: who wins the college football playoff? Atlanta,
Alabama.
Georgia. Yeah, why do you think that?
Because they already beat their ass once. Like they didn't just win, Chad. Alabama didn't win on a last-minute field goal. They beat them like a redheaded stepchild. Okay, they took them to the woodshed and beat their ass in an SEC game, and so they beat them so badly the first time around that the college football committee was like, "Yeah, we don't want to see that a second time, so we're gonna go ahead and make you, Alabama number 1, even though Michigan should have been number 1." And we're going to go ahead and make Georgia number 3 instead of number 4. We don't want to see a rematch right away. Let's see if you guys can get back. But, yeah, I'm going to put my money's on Alabama by over 7 plus.
So I was reading some stuff. What it appears is that the CFP committee said that based on the 2 blowout wins, that they don't really see a need to expand at this time, even though they are in talks about it. They're going to talk about it, but because of that, they don't see the need to expand. What do you think about that?
Well, I think, I think there's a bigger underlying issue, which is there's a lot of kids today that are in other bowl games that aren't playing right now because they don't feel like it's important or they don't feel like it matters, right? Because it doesn't matter and they're not going to win a championship. And so you've got 4 teams where now it does matter, according to the kids, and a bunch of other people who have decided that they don't give a crap about history or historical or the fact that, a bowl game is actually awarded to a university as a reward for a great season, that they get to play an extra game. They get to play an extra game. They don't have to, they get to. But that doesn't seem to be registering with these kids these days. So I think at the end of the day, they should expand. They should have 8. It should be the top 8 teams. They should have, 3 weeks of playoffs, 8 down to 4, down to the 2 championship game.
So do you think with the introduction of the NIL money that will change with less players playing? Because now they get paid to play. Or do you think it'll make it more? Or probably not make a difference either way?
I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting. I think the jury's out on that because, we're pretty early on. But look, if I'm paying a college kid for his name, image, and likeness, and I want to see him on the field, part of my contract is going to be like, if your school makes a bowl game, you're going to play in that bowl game.
Money talks, don't it?
Doesn't it?
So with that said, my next question for you is, how do you think we unite as a nation?
Dude,
Or,
trying to get
or
me
are
to
we
run
too
for
far
office.
gone? Yeah. Christopher, I just want to let you know that I want to know, what do you think that we do to unite as a nation?
I want to do Trump so bad right now, but Trump can't.
Oh, we got to
unite
cue that
us.
video. We'll
Trump
play it after
cannot
Chris's
unite us.
corner.
He literally can't. And it doesn't matter what anyone says to me. I'm not going to believe you if you think that Trump can unite us, and he cannot. But what could unite us is somebody who can actually listen to what each side is saying and acknowledge that, and then help them understand how we can move forward. What I mean by that is, you take the big Build Back Better. Okay, Joe Biden's got this big agenda. He wants to pass this bill that's like trillions of dollars. It's not a good idea. All the Republicans know it's not a good idea. Joe Manchin knows it's not a good idea. The Democrats are mad because they're not going to be able to pass this. And like I've said in past shows, I just don't understand. Why aren't we voting on it line item by line item? Why are we not looking at this on its merits for the line item? And the reason is because people have their pet projects in there. And they don't want to acknowledge that the way we do politics is broken. It's broken. It's bad. It's just messed up. It's an all or nothing. It's a sum zero game. And it's just, until we break that down and we get somebody who's a leader who says that and says, look, let's create these opportunities. Let's find where we have common ground. Let's pass those things. And instead of hurting ourselves by not passing the things that we actually need, because we can't get to the point where we want to have another, what I'm trying to say is, like, there's stuff that we don't need, that we disagree on, that fundamentally we disagree on as a country. Let's leave that off the table. But the things that we do agree on, that we do want to have for the constituents of all the states. I think one example is like the medical stuff. There's like, I think it was like, why are we paying $1,000 for insulin when we could pay $35? Well, yeah, we should vote on that. We should actually have that. That would be great. That would be very good if we could have that. But because it's in the, the bill that's an all or nothing, well, we're not allowed to have that anymore. We're only allowed to have it if we pass whatever else is in this bill, that's like 3.5 trillion. It's stupid.
So do you think that doing something like that is realistically achievable?
Well, I think in the where we are right now, we have to think it's achievable, right? Don't you think it's achievable?
I mean, I hope it is. I don't know if it's achievable.
We just need some real leadership, and I don't think Cocaine Mitch or Joe Schumer, Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi or any of those people are actually real leaders. I don't feel that way.
Pelosi did say she was going to die. I mean, step down after the midterms in this year. So maybe that's an opportunity.
Well, that's a good thing for this nation, because we need real people to step up and actually lead and truly unite the country and listen to each side. I mean, the problem is that these people have dug their heels in so deeply that we can't even have a conversation anymore. It's ludicrous to think that we can't even have this conversation. You should be able to listen to what somebody else has to say and confidently say to them, like, I don't agree with that, and here's why. And then when they hear why, they should be able to take it from there and say, well, I understand where you're coming from, and let me expound on that, and then go from there. And so that we can bounce back and forth until we get to where maybe there truly is an impasse. Like we flat don't agree, or it's not right, or we're not going to do it, or, it's a negotiation. It's just not there though. Man, it sucks.
So, you already talked about the insurrection. I asked you about that. You went hard on that.
I went ham on the insurrection. So we don't need to talk about that anymore.
But Chris's Corner, that was fantastic. I always appreciate your insight.
Let's unite.
You know that. So before we get into a little bit of wrap up here, did you see what the governor of New York said the other day, or did rather? She declared racism a public health emergency.
Really?
So I should have looked up everything that goes into creating something or making something a public health emergency, but I know it surrounds, you get certain funding for things. Certain funding is allocated when you create or make things a public health emergency. But why would you make a statement like that? How is racism a public health emergency? And there was all this talk going around about people in impoverished areas weren't getting the vaccination. Whose fault's that? It's free. That's the fault of the people in the impoverished areas. Like, you can't fix stupid. But instead of actually trying to educate these people, right, to get out and beat the streets and say, hey, you guys need to go get vaccinated if that's what you think they should do. Instead, they just want to say that it's racist. Roads are racist, right? That's what our Secretary of Transportation said, or Secretary of the Interior, whatever. Pete. Yeah, good old Pete Buttigieg.
Pistol Pete.
Right. Racism is Pistol Pete. Racism is a public health emergency. What? I don't get it. I literally don't get it. This is your new governor of New York, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy Hochul or Hochul.
Well, I mean, but she didn't win the election.
It's true.
Yeah. We'll see.
Dude, imagine you're saying something, you're a politician like that, and you have an argument with someone, and the response is, yeah, well, you weren't elected.
You weren't elected. I mean, Fauci, whatever. You weren't elected.
Fauci, who is the highest, I saw this the other day. I don't know the truth to it exactly, but they said Fauci makes more than the president, and he is the highest paid government official, and he is not elected. He makes more than the president, who makes $400,000 a year. He makes more than the president, and he is a non-elected official. Holy crap. Stupid. Attack helicopter for the win.
On the win, yeah.
Financial
Seriously.
Jesus. That's wild. How is that man the highest paid government official?
Yeah, I wanted Dr. Pepper. Not
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci.
Time to play that clip, right?
We like Dr. Pepper. We don't like Dr. Fauci so much. Bear shells, Biden.
Thank you for choosing Arbys. How can I help you?
Yes, I was told you have the meats. Okay, so what we're looking for is a brisket, bacon, and beef dip. Big, beautiful sandwich.
Okay, just the sandwich?
Huge.
No, the combination, as a matter of fact. They call it a combo. You want that with a Dr. Pepper.
Okay, small, medium, or large for the fries and the drink.
We're talking about large. I call it huge. It sounds a lot better, yes. And a Dr. Pepper. We like Dr. Pepper more than Dr. Fauci.
Okay, just the one meal with a large pepper and a large fry, $16.19.
And I'm sorry, we'd like a side of horsey sauce.
We're actually out of horsey sauce until further notice.
What a shame. Bear shells Biden. Okay, well, no problem. We'll see you at the window.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
I wonder if he went through there before and knew that they were out of horsey sauce and came up with a line, because that was fantastic.
He's so great. He comes up with the stuff on the spot. He can literally talk
Bear
like
shells
Trump on the
Biden.
spot. Let's bear shells Biden.
That's so great. So let's did you hear about what your boy Cap did out there on the streets?
Dude's an idiot. I've said this for years. He's such an idiot. He's over. Dude, Kaepernick is worthless. Not only do I disagree with the fact that he takes the knee for the national anthem, which is, he
Probably not the only time he takes a knee.
Yeah, seriously. I'm pretty sure he's got a boyfriend.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, right. But he's the one on the knee. Well, he's a server, I guess. Servicing everyone else. So, Colin Kaepernick, though, I mean, he couldn't get a deal. Dude, do you remember? It was just a couple of years ago that the NFL was like, you know what? F it. We're gonna give you a tryout. We're gonna figure it out. We're done with this stuff. We don't want to fight with you anymore. We don't want the illusion that you suck as a quarterback and we're just not letting you play. Because that's the reality. He sucks as a quarterback. He's washed up. He's old. Dude, the NFL. Do you know what the NFL stands for, Chad?
Oh, God. What?
It stands for, most people would say National Football League, but that's not true. When it comes to a career, the NFL stands for not for long. That means your career's not for long. You're going to get in, you're going to play. There's people who come in, they make their money, they get out. That's how it goes. I'm sorry, Kaepernick, but you are not God's gift to the world of quarterbacks. I mean, you're not Peyton Manning. You're not Aaron Rodgers. You're not even Matthew Stafford. You're not any of these great quarterbacks. You're a washed up has-been. And now you're like taking a knee. You're trying to create all this social justice. God bless you for that. That's amazing. But dude, you keep screwing the pooch left and right. He had the opportunity with the NFL. He messed it all up because he got like high and mighty, like, well, it's got to be this way. It's got to be this way. It's like, no, dude, that's not how this works. They're the people with the millions of dollars. They'll tell you how it's going to be. Okay? You're trying to make it into this world that they don't owe you anything. That's the problem. He's a literal synopsis of everything that's wrong with the world. He thinks that people owe him something. And nobody owes him a damn thing. Not one damn thing. And
especially when he's a millionaire.
Yeah. And again, here he is. He gets an opportunity. He's going to be able to cut a deal with his company and do some other social justice things. And literally, it's not about that. Dude wants his. He wants to dictate how it's going to be and have people pay him. And I'm sorry, my man, that's not how it works. You're not that good. You're done. You have no credibility. You have nothing. You have no pull. You have no place in the marketplace. And I'm sorry, we might be equals as people. You know what? You're equal as a person, but you are not equal in the marketplace. You're a washed up has-been.
The best part about this is not only does the free market win again, because that's what a free market does. It shuts down stupid. Stupid might last for a while, because it does. But at some point, it shuts down stupid. And this was first reported on by the Daily Wire, is the CEO of the company that he was trying to get dollars from says there's a real question about whether there is a halo effect that translates into investment dollars.
Yeah.
Tell me that you're a worthless piece of shit without telling me you're a worthless piece of shit. There you
Hi,
go.
my name's Colin Kaepernick.
We're not giving you money because you're not worth anything.
Yeah,
We're
hi,
not
my
going to
name's
make
Colin
money
Kaepernick.
off investing into you.
Hi, my name's Colin Kaepernick.
It's so great. I love that. And I'm glad that the free market wins again because you are a worthless piece of crap. All there is
Dude.
to it. Collar cap, go home, sit down. You couldn't win the Super Bowl. Sorry. I was going to pull a Happy Gilmore line, but I couldn't make it fit. You're never going to make it off that beach, just like you never made it in the NHL, jackass.
Meet me at the Sizzler. Okay? No.
Yeah, right. Hey, Shooter, Red Lobster.
Right.
All right. So before we get to the last point, dude, how about your boy AB?
Dude, speaking of Kaepernick and losers, here you go. Here's another person who does not clearly understand how the NFL works. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Antonio Brown. You did not represent Central Michigan University very well, my man. You did not do that. You didn't do him any favors because you just quit. You quit in the middle of a game. You
My
sent
man's
a message.
lost it.
Dude, on a serious note, like we could make some serious jokes about like AB going crazy and walking off and how nuts that is.
Right. He needs help.
For sure. But can we agree that dude really needs help? He's had a pretty storied history from leaving, Pittsburgh to going to the Raiders, getting cut there, tried out in, New England, didn't work out there. They cut him, ends up in Tampa Bay with his boy Tom Brady, who's like literally the only one who can like
taking
rein
him under
in
his
for a
wing.
little bit. That guy owes Tom Brady so much, and that's how he repaid him. He walked off in the middle of a game. Not the end. Not the end of the season. We're talking about the middle of a game. Come on, dude. You're in the third quarter. You take off your uniform and you walk off the field. Why would anyone in the NFL give you a benefit of the doubt?
So
nobody made you do that. Nobody made him do that. There
Right.
wasn't like a gun to his head that like you're going to walk off this field. There were no cops that showed up on the sideline because he's a black man and like cuffed him and took him off the field. That's not what happened. He literally walked off on his own volition. Stupid, man.
From what I understand,
tell me.
Bruce Arians, the coach of the Bucs, was like, "Hey, get in the game." He's like, "No." So a little bit later, he's like, "Hey, get in the game." He said, "No." He's like, "All right, get out of here." Like, dude, you have one job. You get paid to play football. They're not playing you to not play football. And here's the thing that gets me is mental illness, mental health. It seems like it's becoming greater and greater of a crisis or an issue, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's literally because we allow people like Antonio Brown who have this massive opportunity at their fingertips, and they don't take any personal responsibility for it. They just say, "So what?" Right? Because they're not taught personal responsibility growing up. They're not us as an educational system are not taught the proper way to deal with things. Instead, we're taught to blame others. That's what this whole 1617 project is. And that's what, all this talk about how cops are racist and things like that. This is literally, hey, I'm going to give you a way to not take personal responsibility. Why? Because the more crisis we have in America revolving around things like this, the more power the wealthy have. And by the wealthy, I mean the Democrat elitists, right? Those elitists who believe that you're not worth it. So there's two different types of thinking, right? There's a types of thinking about how there's people who were born with certain special skills and ability and people who weren't. So the people who are born with that, should give to the people who aren't through taxes and other things like that. Then there's a second subset of people who believe you can grow, you can be taught, you can be educated to learn more. Those aren't your elitists that walk the streets. Because if you talk to those people who believe you can grow and learn more, what do? They want to give you a book. They want to have, a fireside coffee chat with you. But these Democrat elitists, they want there to be more crises. They want you to not take personal responsibility. They want you to blame others. They want to divide the nation, and they do it indirectly and directly. And then we have Antonio Brown's going on, who is a phenomenal athlete. And this dude walks off in the middle of the game, says, "See ya," takes off his shirt in front of everyone. Who do you think you are?
It's unbelievable. Quite frankly. Unbelievable.
Sweetheart.
But you know what, Commander Whalls? Come on, man.
Dude, got the last thing. I want to leave everyone with this. What is luck? It's the best definition I've seen: when preparation meets opportunity.
Right.
That is luck. Go out there.
That's what they say.
Be a superstar. Give yourself some luck. Good luck. March is rolling around. St. Paddy's Day, right? Luck of the Irish.
Well,
we're still a few months away.
We'll be done with Omicron by then for sure.
Yeah.
That's my bet.
Commander,
over.
Hope you're ready for bed.
Commander Whalls, it's always a pleasure. Attack helicopter.
Financial Jesus. You're crushing it over there tonight.
Hey, so are we changing his name? Like, dude, you changed your name in the Discord to Financial Jesus. Are you no longer Attack Helicopter? Can I call you Attack Helicopter?
That's my sexual orientation. Excuse me.
Correct.
So you're not. That is my sexual orientation.
Is Attack Helicopter.
Yeah.
Financial Jesus is the nickname.
That's just a nickname.
But when he fills out a government form, male, female, other, wish to not disclose, he puts other, Attack Helicopter.
Yep, exactly. I have actually done that before on certain things that I've signed up for, just for the hell of doing it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. My man. Well, as always.
Good night, y'all.
I say peace be with you. We lift up our hearts.
Blessed be the fruit.
Blessed day, my Commander Whalls.
Good night, fellas. Good day.